Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Derek Fage. A fantastic show lined up. We're going to introduce you to some wonderful artists on the show today. Tell you how your family can get involved with creating a beautiful symphony. And we are going to give you the ultimate gift guide from Jasmine Rose. But first up, it is Christmas concert series time. And there's some wonderful Christmas concerts, including the one put on by the University of Ottawa Choir. I am joined by its music director, Filion. Robert, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
Robert, you have a long history with the University of Ottawa Choir. Tell me a little bit about its history and how you got involved.
Well, it's about 90 years ago that the University of Ottawa created this choir. And when I arrived as a student in Ottawa in the music department, I started singing in choirs. And François Bernier, who was conducting that choir, asked me to join them. And I became sort of a little bit of his assistant, worked with the choir members, and then went on to do my own thing and eventually came back as sort of a replacement conductor. Sorry about that. I'm at the school. That's the school bell. You might be hearing that.
That's okay.
And a few years ago, I joined them as their artistic directors. So there we are.
So who makes up the choir? Do they all have links to the University of Ottawa?
A lot of people do. There's some people who work at the university, teach at the university. There's some students and also community members. So it's a mixture of all kinds of people.
I'm going to throw to a clip here because, of course, the pandemic has changed things for so many different organizations, and that includes choirs. I'd just like to show a clip, and we'll come back and talk about that change that the pandemic has had. Have a look at this, everyone. Well, obvious from that clip how the pandemic affected the choir, but Robert, what about the challenge of putting something like that together? Was that something you've ever done before?
I had never done this before. An American conductor had done this before, Eric Whitaker, a few years back. And then all of a sudden, all of us had to learn how to do this and how to figure it out and choose the appropriate music. In my case, that was the biggest learning curve, choosing the music that's going to work in a virtual choir setting. That was the most difficult part. But we worked together online, and the singers were actually wonderful. But it was kind of strange to rehearse without them.
I can imagine. Well, you must be excited because you're back to in-person performing, and when it comes to live performances, just having that, I imagine, interaction with the audience is just so incredibly special, Robert.
Most certainly. We've been rehearsing together since the beginning of the semester, and now to actually be able to share what we've been doing with people is outstanding. We have a concert. We're doing music from the French Baroque era with period instruments, and then the second half of the concert is music that people would have heard during Queen Victoria's time, so sort of romantic era 19th century music.
How do you go about selecting the pieces that you do each year?
Well, yeah, for Christmas, it's a challenge because you can't do a Christmas concert every year.
Right.
People, the singers would get tired of it. So it's finding new ways of showing repertoire. So this year we're doing a royal Christmas with the Le Roi Soleil in Versailles and with Victoria in Windsor Castle.
As the music director, then, are you, obviously you practice with everybody. Have you been able to get together, or have you still had to do it virtually every now and then, or now you're now exclusively in person?
Well, we're in person, and depending on the space that we have, we share a church with another choir. So sometimes we're downstairs, we have less space, so we have less singers, but we still do the rehearsing online. Those who don't want to, who can't come that week, can stay home and join us online. So we sort of live stream on Zoom for them and get together when we can all get together.
Tell everybody at home where they can catch you at this year's concert, where it's happening, and I imagine you have to get tickets beforehand. Of course, health and safety
Yes.
protocols in place as well.
Yeah, you can go to our website, Ottawa University Choir, and the concert is Saturday, December 11th at St. Joe's Church on the campus. And you're going to have a good time if you're there with us.
Oh, I can't, each and every year my wife and I go to at least a couple of these Christmas concerts, and I just encourage everybody out there to find one in your neighborhood. Even if they can't make it out to this one, there's so many wonderful concerts that are available, and of course back to in-person. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. Don't forget that concert is happening December the 11th at 8 p.m. and that is at St. Joe's. You can visit the website to find out more information, of course, to get your tickets. Coming up after the break, we're going to introduce you to a wonderful artist who's going to be part of the Raw Ottawa Presents premiere. It's a wonderful artistic showcase. We'll introduce you to Héritier right after this. Don't go anywhere.